Hello everybody, today we've got the second battle of the best of three World Cup of Pokemon 2015 tiebreak. It's another ORAS OU battle between Reiku and cosine180. With me today I have the Prince of the Afrab's Desert, Masterclass aka Sweepage. Say hello.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, this cosine guy looks very interesting, man. He's a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, both of these guys have 5-0 records as of this battle, so you see anything interesting about the teams?
I take cosine's teams weak to fairies in general, because there's 4x weaks to fairies, and Reiku has a Gardevoir.
So we might see a Gardevoir lead, since the only thing that really threatens it is Jirachi, and Jirachi doesn't really want to face Garchomp, Ferrothorn, and Keldeo.
Yeah, I guess so. And the Mammal also looks a bit threatening.
Because his only ground resist is a Landorus that gets destroyed by Ice Shard, and everything. Well, Latios too, which also gets eaten by Ice Shard. But yeah, it can't really switch in on a lot. But when it comes in, it's going to be a prediction battle. Because like he can go to like Landorus on Earthquake and Jirachi or Keldeo, assuming the Jirachi is like Scarf Ironhead on Ice Shard. But yeah, if Reiku wins this battle, then Spain is still alive, and M-Dragon will fight Conflict in GSC. If cosine180 wins, then Germany is going to the finals. We do see a Gardevoir lead facing off against Landorus.
I think this is gonna be bad. This turn right here.
I like how Gardevoir traced Intimidate. That's really cool. So Landorus can't even Earthquake it too badly, and he can throw out a Will-O-Wisp pretty much for free, assuming he has that instead of like Taunt or Calm Mind. And because Jirachi doesn't want to switch in, everything else just gets melted by Hyper Voice. You think he just, Landorus doesn't quite get O-code by Hyper Voice, so does he go for Rocks and then Earthquake? Nope, he Earthquakes right away, and that does a lot of damage, and that kills with a crit. So, Gardevoir gets the kill immediately, and 6-5 Spain. A good start.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, like I said, that turn won't end well for cosine, because that Gardevoir is gonna get a kill each time.
Yeah. Does Hyper Voice Oko bulky-ish Landorus? I don't think it does.
I can calc that.
Yeah, because like it doesn't. I don't think it quite kills. It might be a roll, especially if it's modest or something.
Yeah, I think that crit mattered though.
Yeah,
I think so.
So that's not good for the Germans. I guess that. Well, there's no defog on.
Okay, there is a chance that the Hyper Voice kills, and that's absolute max roll. So
from Timid.
Yeah.
So I guess we don't know if he's timid or modest yet. What's the chance if he's modest?
Like I said, it had to be a max roll, but on that team, it looks timid. I don't think anyone would run a modest Gardevoir.
Yeah, that's fair. So Lopunny's coming in, and if it has Ice Punch, then it's also going to be really threatening to Reiku's team. Because Garchomp generally takes the physical attacks and wears it down with Helmet and Rough Skin, but Ice Punch would really limit that. And now that I think about it, if he doesn't have Scarf Keldeo, then if he manages to get a power-up punch off or something, then Lopunny might just sweep, assuming it has Drain Punch to heal off all the residual, but I don't think that's really a thing.
But the problem I see on both teams is cosine has nothing to threaten Reiku, but Reiku has a lot of things to threaten cosine.
Yeah. Like,
that's the problem.
He doesn't really love switching into Ferrothorn, and I guess that's true for a lot of offensive teams, but once it gets in, then it just leech seeds everything in sight. There's Garchomp, there's Return, there's Rough Skin,
that's the problem. All that has to do is come in on the Lopunny, and then it's just gonna die to priority from like the Mamoswine.
Yeah. He can even check for Ice Punch by going to Mamo here, because unless cosine gets ballsy and tries to remove the Garchomp with high jump kick for his his Jirachi or something. But Lopunny is really valuable. I don't think he would want to do that and just chip himself even more. I was gonna say Mamoswine because it resists ice, and well then it's not really that good because you can't switch back into it. So maybe Ferrothorn would be the better scouting move because it chips it even more. Or
this looks awful, personally, to cosine. Yeah. That's what I think.
Also, he could possibly, if the Keldeo is Scarf, which would make sense, considering that if he isn't, then his fastest Pokemon is 375 speed, then he could pivot to that. I don't think it dies to a high jump kick, and it's not, terribly useful with Latios and no way of pursuing it on Reiku's end, so it could be like...
That's the issue, though, because Raikou has so many things he can just pivot to it. He doesn't even have to worry about a one-hit KO, because a lot of it, things can just take a hit.
Yeah, you need some chip damage on things before you send in Lopunny, and when you send it in, as a revenge kill with no prior damage on anything, then it's going to run into some issues, as we see here.
Okay, for example, look at Raikou's Garchomp. Yeah. It can kill anything right now with a hit. It depends on what he switches in, it can get a kill right now.
So, are you saying he shouldn't even bother with setting up rocks?
No, I mean in general, that's what Raikou has against Cosine. He can just one-hit KO a lot of his things, and Cosine can't one-hit KO back because he has a lot of things to pivot to.
I think the only... Oh, there's Dragon Tail. There's Rough Skin. No helmet, though, so we could be seeing a more offensive set on Cosine's end, which makes sense, because seeing how offensive his team is, and the fact that he's got CBB on his team who advocates very offensive Pokemon. And Latios gets dragged in, so Raiku's Garchomp is going to be forced out, but it is going to be able to switch into Lopunny and more or less kill it by via contact moves if it gets hit twice more, even if it might get to a KO in the process. And losing rocks isn't even that big a deal, because Garchomp, literally every single Pokemon except Latios resists rocks, so that was a good move on Raikou not going for him. And here comes
Raiku's probably going to go to Tornadus here. I'm guessing Tornadus is going to come in.
To check for HP Fire?
Yeah, that's what he's gonna do.
And there's nothing that Latios can really do to threaten an Oko on Torn either. I mean, unless it's Life Orb Torn.
Yeah.
If it's Life Orb Torn and he uses Draco Meteor, then it'll die, but somehow I don't see that happening.
Honestly, if that Tornadus dies, I see this game being wide open if that dies.
Yeah.
The Keldeo looks very scary at that point if the Tornadus dies.
Yeah. Do you think Cosine's considering Draco Meteoring here? Because Pharaoh is either protecting or switching to Torn. But if it's an Assault Vest Torn, then it's a moot point anyway, because it's just going to U-turn out and not care. So.
Yeah.
But if it is an HP Fire, then Ferrothorn is just going to sit in on pretty much everything, unable to be OHKO. It can even protect and play games with Lopunny, and that's why I don't like high jump kick on it. And
I wouldn't want to be Cosine right now.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
Keldeo can't OHKO it either with Spec Sword. So I think
what I meant earlier is that everything on Raiku's team, except maybe the Ferrothorn, can get a kill on anything on Cosine's team. Like, the Mamoswine can get a one-hit KO if it chooses the right move.
Oh, he did predict the Torn there, and Raikou stayed in. Gyro balling, down goes Latios. 12% left, 2 Life Orb hits, and he can't exactly roost all that. So do you think he just said, I might live HP Fire, maybe he's really Spadef, and I'm just going to bring Latios down with me? Okay. Because Latios, I guess Ferrothorn doesn't really check a whole lot else that he doesn't already have covered, so no need to risk his Torn, which is really important for Keldeo.
And the problem with using Psyshock at that point is because you're the only one insecure about your HP Fire.
Yeah.
So now he probably knows he has HP Fire because he used Psyshock.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have to risk Ferrothorn anymore. Not that it's terribly useful, but like, I guess it would make sense that Raiku's team has Assault Vest Torn though, because otherwise Keldeo is really, really dangerous. Like, not that it isn't already, but...
I'm starting to doubt the Assault Vest Torn at this point.
Really? Is it because the rest of the team is so offensive?
No, I just don't know why he didn't go to it the first time.
Yep, there's HP Fire, there's Gardevoir, and Latios is going to go down. Nice move on Raiku's end. Even if he... Well, I don't think there was anything there that would have killed him. But even if it did die to a crit or whatever, then he just goes Torn, U-turns, and keeps up the pressure. He can even U-turn back into Ferrothorn to get extra leftovers damage, the leftovers recovery. So, this is looking really, really good for Raikou. And Latios is pretty much dead here, unless he makes the incredibly ballsy move of going to Jirachi. Well, that's not really ballsy, but I think Raikou should Will-O-Wisp here because Latios isn't roosting. He's either attacking, which will kill you, or he's going to Jirachi. So
it doesn't have Will-O-Wisp, I bet, because that team looks weak to Stall, and I think it has Taunt, if you ask me.
Alright, so...
It doesn't matter right now.
It's not really a huge difference, though, so... What do you think we see here? Torn or Keldeo?
I think it's safe for Garchomp. Oh no, Jirachi's probably gonna come in here. And I'd say, yeah, Garchomp might come in. Garchomp's the safest option for Raikou.
And what if he goes to Keldeo?
You mean cosine?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the, like, it's a 1 out of 4 thing, so he can just go to either the Torn. I mean, he has pivots, man. He has the Ferrothorn and the Torn.
I think he should go to Torn, and if he faces something he doesn't want to, like the Jirachi, he can just stay in, tank an Iron Head. Oh, 2 Keldeos. That's interesting. Do you think they just trade swords? Well, I guess Cosine has no choice, because nothing wants to switch into sword on his end.
Yeah, this is looking really bad for Cosine.
He can, and Cosine sort of has to sword here, so Reiku can take advantage of that and just go to Torn and keep the pressure up.
This is what I'm gonna say. If that Torn is Life Orb, and Cosine actually makes a play that kills the Torn, then I can see Cosine winning.
Nope, they're trading swords. That's looking... Okay, so I was gonna say Reiku's 2 KO makes it look like Specs, but I guess it was just a high-ish roll, and Cosine's is definitely Specs. So...
And Raiku's probably Scarf, so he has to switch out now, Cosine.
Yeah, both of them do. Well, I guess...
No, Raikou can just stay in right now. He has nothing to lose.
It's a lowish roll, and Torn doesn't really, care about it. I think the first sword was a high-ish roll, so he can just go to Torn safely. And like, the only thing Cosine can switch to is either Garchomp, which is at 47, which dies to 2, or a full health Jirachi. And I guess Garchomp is kind of worthless against Reiku's team, so he might just sack that. So I guess there's no real downside to Reiku sorting, but if he gets a low roll and the Keldeo somehow stays in, because Cosine knows that I don't think Sword really has a very good 2 KO chance.
No, I calced it. It says 46 min and 55 max.
Oh, so it's an average roll. Wow,
yeah.
I don't remember my black and white Keldeo calcs at all. But yeah, that's so in that case, Reiku should just know he's going to Torn, he's being safe. And he catches Garchomp. So Hurricane City, which so Cosine's still temporarily alive since he can go to Jirachi on Hurricane. But then again, he's just going to get
chipped. Can just he can just hard switch the. No, wait. There was no Rocky Helmet, so he can just U-turn to the anything he wants basically.
Why not Hurricane here?
You want to risk that and lose the Torn?
You think Outrage kills? Well, I guess if he's hasty Life Orb, then it might, but... yeah, I guess...
Look, there's a huge chance that Jirachi might have a Healing Bush, and if that Torn goes down and he heals the Keldeo, it could be bad.
That's true. So, yeah, I guess we see U-turn. Any chance of a Scarf Garchomp? None, right?
On that team, no. The Lander died, so... We don't know which has SR, so yeah.
So, well, if it's,
I doubt it's Scarf, though.
Yeah.
That's not common in this metagame.
Yeah, just... so I guess U-turn to Ferrothorn is fair. Or even Mamoswine if he really wants to. Because Outrage will lock him in, and then Ice Shard gets the kill, so... And he really wants the Torn healthy, as you said, because of Healing Wish into Keld.
Yeah.
And if he goes to Jirachi, then he just keeps the momentum up. I was thinking that if he Hurricanes Jirachi, he can stay in for a turn as it Iron Heads or Ice Punches to see, what move he locks himself into, so he doesn't get Ferrothorn, I don't know, Fire Punch or something, and try to U-turn, and even if he gets flinched by Iron Head, he can just go to Pharaoh next turn. Reiku's thinking about this.
That's what I mean.
Oh, man,
yes.
There's Hurricane. There's Stealth Rock.
Should have went for it, man. That was a chance right there.
That was weird.
He couldn't predict the miss. We all predicted the U-turn.
I guess he was expecting the same thing. There's another miss. There's Dragon Claw.
That was huge, man.
Uh-oh.
That was huge. I still think Reiku has a pretty big advantage at this point.
Germany is remembering the, what's it called? The Hyper Voice crit turn 1 right now.
Well, Reiku can just claim it's modest.
He could, unless he sent his team in. But, Isn't that still a roll though?
Modest one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nothing to do. Let me calc that.
Well, I think the check. Okay, so we finally hit a hurricane. Any credit for good measure, and it is Life Orb Torn. So wow, Keldeo might be an issue. So I think he goes to Lopunny here. You know what else? Lopunny might actually have Healing Wish as well.
Oh yeah, that's a good point too. But for me, the Lopunny looks much scary as a Power Punch one. Because that Garchomp's gonna get to a KO too. So
yeah, but he's also gonna take it down, way the hell down with Helmet, and then it's gonna be in like Mamoswine range.
But you gotta consider the Healing Wish at this point.
Yeah.
It still looks like a huge advantage to Raikou, but there's a chance.
There's Chomp. There's Return. Lots of residual. Lopunny's going to be... Well, another thing it's definitely in now is a Scarf Keldeo range, so Raikou could even... Well, I don't know if he wants to make it take even more rocks damage, but he can get a kill that way as well. And the reason that might be preferable is because he prevents any prediction from switching Keldeo or Jirachi into Ice Shard against Mamo. Because if he goes to Keldeo, then he pretty much guarantees a kill.
Yeah. He should go to Keldeo. If he goes Mamo, then yeah, you're right.
Keldeo is currently at 24%. After rocks, that's 18. So he's got a couple more switches. The only problem is going to be when that Jirachi comes in. And the Specs Keld... I guess, let's think. If you're Raikou, I think Raikou has a way to 100% win this. Just got to figure it out. I mean, it might not be 100%, but if he goes to Keld here, and he's going to pick up a kill, most likely on Lopunny, because he doesn't want to switch Jirachi in. Unless he, wants to Healing Wish to Lopunny, because he can take 2 swords, most likely.
Well, honestly, looking at the current teams and what's left, there's a 100% way for Raikou to win.
Yeah.
I can't think at this point, because I'm trying to think of a way Cosine can win. I don't see it happening, honestly.
Let's say he goes to Jirachi after this, and you go to...
That's the thing, he can't go to Jirachi. He has to go to Jirachi right now.
So, well, when he does come into Jirachi, whenever that may be, do you think he uses Hydro Pump to try to 2KO a Jirachi switch in?
Maybe, but
that would be
I think Scald of the Burn can do that too.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe he Scalds.
And his timer, he has to watch out for that too.
Nope, Sword. So Jirachi comes in. How do you 100% win this if you're Raikou? Do you go to Ferrothorn?
Ferrothorn
will be at 80 after rocks and leftovers. With Protect, you can.
I definitely go to Ferrothorn.
Yeah, and then the Specs Keldeo. It'll need a Hurricane Miss or two and even then, I'm not sure exactly. Depends on Pharaoh's spread, but I'm not sure exactly what range that Pharaoh wants to be at to live the sword. But he's gonna need another Hurricane Miss because Mamo dies with Ice Shard doing. All Ice Shard will do is no, he's going to Mamoswine.
Oh, that was weird.
That's odd.
Okay, he's going probably for the miss.
Well, he has to sword, otherwise he loses to Ferrothorn. There's no question about that. So we're just going to see Ice Shard from Raikou trying to weaken it, and maybe if he weakens it a little with Ice Shard, then it'll be in crit Secret Sword range in case Hurricane misses.
Yeah. He basically has to miss twice too, not just once.
He'll be at...
I'll calc the hasty one.
Well, I think Torn is at 37 before rocks, so he gains 33, so he's at 70, then minus rocks, which is 25.
Okay, assuming it's hasty, it should do 46 to 54.
Secret Sword?
Yeah.
That is a lot. Did I do my math right?
If he's
Plus
hasty.
33. Yeah, so he'll be at 70, minus 25, so he'll be at, that doesn't seem right. Nope, he'll be at 43% or so.
No, he's yeah.
Okay, I was a bit off doing my math on the fly, which is really basic. Oh, nice move on Reiku's end. Superpower definitely puts it into Scarf Keldeo range.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Reiku keeping Spain alive. He is now 6-0. Very impressive. And this is going to a third game, M-Dragon versus Conflict in GSC. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Sweepage, for being here with me today, narrating this battle.
Great to be next to you, man.
It was a pleasure.
I had to say that. He paid me.
I sure did. Alright, and I'll catch you guys next time.